Good morning, everyone. In the previous classes, we have started the chapter number 5, and as I have already discussed about you that in the Mendelian genetics, there are two type of alleles found. The first one is dominant alleles that express its characters, and the another one is recessive allele that do not express its characters. Now the question is, when the heterozygous condition is here, suppose this is the capital T and small t. So we will say this is tall plant and this is impure tall because one allele is dominant and the another allele is recessive. So on the basis of monohybrid cross, Mendel suggested the another law of segregation. It is also known as law of purity of gametes. What do you mean by this? According to this law, when alleles are present in the combined form, or you can say heterozygous condition, then when it undergoes meiosis, it will form gametes. And a segregation of the alleles can be seen here. It is segregated in the one gamete and this is segregated in the another gamete. So what will you see? In the heterozygotic condition, T was expressing its characters, but this is not expressed. So what will you see? In the presence of capital T, small t is not expressed, but as it is undergone the meiosis during the gametogenesis, gamete formation, it is pure for its dominant character and it is pure for its recessive character. So whenever gametes are formed, they will be always pure for character. So this is also known as law of purity of gametes. So in all the crosses, whenever gamete formation is seen, there will be the segregation of the alleles, and generally segregation is completed in anaphase first and the final segregation is completed in anaphase second. So we will discuss here the law of segregation, law of purity of gametes, although I have explained each and everything here, but for more details we will use the PPTs here. So in the law of segregation or law of purity of gametes, it states that alleles segregate randomly into the gametes. When gametes are formed, each allele of one parent segregates randomly into the gametes such that half of the parent's gametes carry each allele. So as I have drawn the picture on the whiteboard where capital T and small t were segregated during the gamete formation. This law is based on monohybrid cross. This is most important. Question will be asked that on which law, which hybridization the law of segregation is based. Monohybrid cross. The allele is segregated during anaphase of meiosis and forms gametes. So gametes are always pure for their characters. So gametes will be always pure for their characters. So it is called law of purity of gametes also. So you can see law of segregation here. This is the homologous chromosome where capital T allele and small t allele is present here. It will undergo the meiosis, pairing of homologous chromosomes, and after segregation, gametes are formed, and one gamete contains capital T and the another gamete contains small t. And both the gametes are pure for their characters. So this is the law of purity of gametes. This is the checkerboard here, capital T, small t. This is the parental generation, and after the cross in the F1 generation, heterozygous condition is seen, capital T, small t, all plants are tall, and when it undergoes the selfing for the F2 generation, female gametes are capital T small t and male gametes are capital T small t. And after the crossing, you can see capital T, capital T, capital T, small t, capital T, small t, small t, small t. So first three are the tall plants, and this is the single which is dwarf plant. The alleles do not show any blending, that both the characters are recovered as such in F2 generation through one of these is not seen at the F1 stage. So the recovery of the characters in F2 generation shows that blending is absent. If there is any blending, then these characters will not reappear. The parents contain two alleles during gametes formation. The factors or alleles of a pair segregate or separate from each other such that a gamete receives only one of the two factors by meiosis, and it is done in anaphase first and second. Homozygous parent produces all gametes that are similar, contain same type of alleles. For example, if the homozygous condition is capital T, there will be two gametes and both the gametes will be similar. Similarly, in the small t also. Heterozygous parents produce two kinds of gametes and each having one allele with equal proportion. So example is gametes of capital T and small t. So it will show the clear cut segregation where we can explain the law. Otherwise, it is also showing the segregation, but it will help us to explain the law of purity of gametes. Now we will start the another part here, inheritance of two genes. It is also known as dihybrid cross. The study and analysis of inheritance as a result of dihybrid crosses is called inheritance of two genes. The another definition is dihybrid cross is the cross between two different genes that differ in two observed traits. So we will have an example here. If a pure round and pure plant is crossed, suppose you have crossed the pure round and pure yellow plant is crossed with a wrinkled and green seeded plant, then find out the phenotype and genotype in F2 generation. You already know that round is the dominant over the wrinkled and the yellow color of the seed is dominant over the green color of the seed here. And the phenotype and genotype is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1 and 1 2 2 4 1 2 1 2 1. But there will be some sort of problem, rather I explain it on the boards. You can see we have selected the parent here YYRR, which is pure yellow and pure round. On the other end, this is the green wrinkled seed, which is small y, small r, small r. These are the gametes here, and I will explain this on the board here. Now the example is pure round, pure yellow plant is taken as a first parent, and the another one is wrinkled and green. So what will you see? First of all, when you are going to explain the hybridization, you will have to write the parents. Write down the parents. There are two types of parents here. The first parent is male parent, and the male parent will be capital R, capital R, capital Y, because it is pure round, capital R, and this is pure yellow, capital Y, capital Y. On the other hand, the second parent will be female, that is wrinkled means small r, and green means small y, small y. So first of all, we have selected the parents here. Now we will start the hybridization by using the parents. First of all, suppose I have taken the female here, which is small r, small y, and this is the male parent, that is capital R, capital Y, capital Y. This is wrinkled green and this is pure round, pure yellow. So what will you see when we form the gametes? Then this is the single character, shape of the seed, and this is the color of the seed. So when we will form the gametes, then one allele is selected from one character with the another allele of the another character. So what will you see? This is the first allele, small r, small y. Similarly, again this is the new one. So there will be four gametes here, and all the gametes for F1 generation will be similar. These are the parents of first generation and it is shown by capital P. Similarly, when you will draw the figure here, capital R, capital Y, capital R, capital Y, capital R, capital Y, and capital R, capital Y. Because all the gametes are similar, so rather we use the all gametes, we can use the single gamete here. This is the small r, small y, and this is the capital R, capital Y. Now we will cross this, and after the cross, both the gametes will come closer to each other. Basically it is the fertilization, and after the result, you what will you see? Capital R, small r, capital Y, small y. This is F1 generation. As far as type of cell division is concerned, it is undergone meiosis here. So all plants will be round and yellow. The dominant character is shown by all the plants. For F2 generation, we will show the selfing here, and after selfing, we will receive the next generation, that is F2 generation. So, dear students, again you can see here we have taken the pure round and pure yellow pea plant, and this is the wrinkled and green pea plant. We have selected parents here. First parent male, that is capital R, capital Y, and in the second one female, that is small r, small y, small y. This is the symbol of male. Again you can see this is the symbol of female and this is the symbol of male. Again you can see this is the round and the arrow in the right side, that is the male, and the round circle, and this cross is here, this is the symbol of female. So this is you need to remember. Now we will start the F2 generation by using the capital R, capital Y, small y. So what will you see? Again the next part of video here. This is the female with capital R, capital Y, small y, round yellow, and this is the male which is capital R, capital Y, small y. First of all, this is the parents of second generation, so it is shown by P2. Get it? These are the parents, and now we will prepare the gametes here. Capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. On the other hand, you can see the another one, that is capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. These are the gametes. And meiosis is the cell division. Now we will cross this. After cross, what will you see? Have a look here. You need to prepare a table in which 5 vertical groups and 5 horizontal periods will be there. Out of that, have a look and draw neatly. This is also known as checkerboard. It was proposed by R.C. Punnett, so it is also known as Punnett square. It is also known as Punnett square. So what will you see? First of all, you will have to use the left hand side square and just make a diagonal here, and this will be the female, and we will write the female gamete. Excuse me. Similarly, you will have to draw the gametes of male here in the lower side, capital R, capital Y, capital R, small r, capital Y, and small r, small y. Now we need to cross the gametes. First of all, when you will cross this male gamete to the female, then it will be capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. In the second one, capital R, capital Y, small y. This is the another one, capital R, capital Y, and the next one is capital R, capital Y, small y. Similarly, you can see the next capital R, capital Y, small y. This is the capital R, small y. This is capital R, capital Y, small y, and this is the capital R, small y, small y. Again, capital R, capital Y, capital Y, capital R, capital Y, small y, small r, capital Y, small r, capital Y, small y. The next is capital R, capital Y, small y, capital R, small y, small y, small r, capital Y, small y, and the final is all are recessive gametes. So what will you see? We have completed the checkerboard here by using these gametes. These are the gametes of female. We have written the female gametes on the top of the checkerboard, and these are the male gametes which were written here. Now, as we will express the type of plant, then this will be the round yellow, this will be the round and yellow, this will be the round and yellow, this will be the round and yellow. Similarly, capital, wherever the single, even a single capital R is present, then that plant will be round, and even If capital Y is present, then the plant will be yellow. So this is round and this is yellow. You can clearly see here the presence of capital R makes it round and presence of capital Y makes it yellow. This is round yellow. This is round yellow. And have a look here. This is the triangle where all the plants will be round and yellow. Again, this is round yellow, round yellow. So when you will count the plants, how many number of plants are round and yellow, then what will you see? There are 9 plants in the checkerboard which are round in the nature and yellow in color. After that, when you will move to the second triangle, have a look here. The corners of triangle, what will you see? Presence of capital R making it round and the presence of both the small y makes it green in color. So there will be 3 plants. You can see this is round yellow, this is round yellow, and again this is round yellow. There will be 3 round and green plants here. And in the next checkerboard, you can see the picture here. In this checkerboard, again there will be this plant will be wrinkled as well as yellow plant because there is a presence of capital Y here. So there will be 3 plants and this is the single plant which is wrinkled as well as green in nature. So these are the characters which are clearly expressed here and it is also known as phenotype of the dihybrid cross and its ratio will be 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. I think there is no problem here. You can find out the 9 plants in the first triangle wherever you are moving from left to right and then downward, then round yellow, round yellow, round yellow, round yellow, all these 9 plants are round and yellow. In the second triangle all the plants are round with the new character is arise here, that is the green in color. And in the third triangle you can see seed is wrinkled but the color is yellow here, and there is a single plant which is wrinkled as well as green. Now we will find out the genotype of the plant. How will you find out? Again, have a look here. The genotype of dihybrid cross is this is the 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 4 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1. This is the genotype of the dihybrid cross. Now the question is, how will you find out the nature of the plant? We will start from the beginning here, from left hand side. This is the single plant of the checkerboard that is pure for round seed and pure for yellow color. So what will you see? This will be the single. There is no any another plant in the checkerboard which is pure for round and pure for yellow. Again, when you will go through the second part, so you need to move here in the first step. What will you see? This is pure round as well as impure yellow. So This type of plant can be seen here. This is the first and second. These are the two plants which are pure for round and impure for yellow. So the number of plants are, this is the first one, this is the two. When you will move in the next square, then what will you see? There is a impure round seed as well as pure yellow color here. So what will you see? When you will look at this genotype, then what will you see? Capital R, small r, capital R, small r, capital Y, capital Y, capital Y, capital Y. So these are the two in number here. So what will you see? Two plants which are impure for round and pure for yellow in color. So again, when you will move at the fourth position, four plants. So what will you see? Have a look at this diagonal condition. All the plants are impure for both characters. Impure round, impure yellow, impure round, impure yellow, impure round, impure yellow, impure round, impure yellow. So there are how many plants which are impure for both characters? These are four. So this is impure round and impure yellow. Now if you will count all these numbers, then what will you see? These are 9. So have a look here. Again, this is the phenotypic character. 9 plants are round and yellow. Out of that, which one is pure and which one is impure, it is decided here. I think there is no any problem with respect to this first triangle. Now come to the second triangle. What will you see? In the second triangle, there will be a single plant which will be pure for round and green color is as usual always pure. So you need not to show them. And after these two corners of the triangle, what will you see? Both are impure for the round while green in the nature. So there will be two plants which are impure round with green color of the seeds, and you can see this is the second phenotypic character of the dihybrid cross. Again, when you will have to look on the third square, third triangle, then what will you see? In the third one, there is a single which is wrinkled plant with impure yellow character, and have a look here in these two corners. Two plants are wrinkled but impure yellow. So again, this is the third phenotypic character, and this is the last and only single plant of the checkerboard which is wrinkled as well as green. So this is the genotypic ratio of the dihybrid cross. I think there will be no any problem to understand all these by using. You will have to practice again and again, then you can understand all these things. So see the video again and again. This is the facility in the YouTube uploadings rather than the online classes. So again, I will use the PPT to explain this one. In the given figure, you can see, as I have already explained by using the whiteboard, we have started with the P1 parents. Out of that, yellow round seed is used and green wrinkled seed is used. This is the checkerboard where you can see this yellow colored triangle is showing the phenotype, that is the 9, round and yellow. You can see the wrinkled seeds with yellow color, and this is the another new triangle, and this is the last one I have already explained. So phenotypic ratio is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1, that is the 9 round and yellow. 3 plants will be round and green, three will be wrinkled and yellow, and one plant that is the wrinkled as well as green also. The genotypic ratio, as I have already explained, 1 is to 2 is to 2 is to 4 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1 is to 2 is to 1. The one plant will be pure round, pure yellow, two plant will be pure round and impure yellow, and two again the new character impure round and pure yellow, and impure round and impure yellow. There will be four plants here. Similarly, rest of the another characters. Now, a law is given here, that is the law of independent assortment. This law is based on dihybrid cross. So when two characters are combined in a hybrid, segregation of one pair of trait is independent of other pair of the traits. So what will you see? The segregation is not disturbing the traits. We have seen the new combinations here where the seed is round but the color is green. Similarly, these three is the another new characters in which wrinkled with yellow color, which was not selected in the parents. So in dihybrid cross, 37.5% characters are recombinant that are arose due to independent assortment, means 6 by 16 offspring which are not parental characters. So arising of the recombinant character is showing the law of independent assortment. Now, there is a new point here, which is Mendel's work remained unrecognized. Why? What are the basic reasons that Mendel's work was not recognized earlier? So Mendel's work was remained unrecognized from 1865 to 1900 because of the following reasons. First reason, he was a monk and not a scientist. He was not a scientist. That was the first drawback. The people in the rest of the world were engrossed in Darwin's work and his theory of evolution. He published a book, Origin of Species. The whole world was busy to read the origin of species. That's why Mendel's work were not recognized. His work and results on inheritance were mostly accidental. First, communication was not easy in those days, and his work could not be widely publicized because there were the absence of proper newspapers, news channels, internets, and other facilities were absent. Similarly, the next reason is thirdly, Mendel's approach of using mathematics to explain biological phenomena was totally new and unacceptable to many of the biologists of his time because those biologists were unknown to the mathematics. And the next is his concept of genes, or you can say factors in Mendel's world, as stable and discrete units that uncontrolled the expression of traits of their pair of alleles which did not blend with each other, was not accepted by his contemporaries as an explanation for the apparently continuous variation seen in nature. And finally, he could not provide any physical proof because science demands the physical proof, and Mendel failed to provide any physical proof for the existence of factors. So these were the basic reasons which makes the Mendel's work unrecognized. Now, rediscovery of the Mendel's work. So, Mendel's work was rediscovered in 1900 by Hugo de Vries, Correns, and Schermark. So, rediscovery of the Mendel's work. This is the Carl Correns, Hugo de Vries, and von Schermark. And Mendel's work was rediscovered after 16 years after the death of Mendel. He was declared father of genetics. So we know the Mendel as a father of genetics. Now, in the modern genetics, we use the Drosophila melanogaster. This is also known as fruit fly. It is also known as Neurospora of animal kingdom. It is small fly that can easily be cultured in the laboratory. Its lifespan is 3 to 4 weeks. Its genome is completely known and shows sexual dimorphism. Male is small in size while the female is large in size. You can see the picture. Now, what is multiple alleles? Its definition is important. Have a look here. A gene for which at least two alleles exist is said to be polymorphic. Instances in which a particular gene may exist in three or more allelic forms are known as multiple allelic condition. So what will you see? Generally, we have discussed so far that the gene has two alleles, while in the multiple allelic condition, more than two alleles present for a gene, that is the multiple allelic condition. For example, the gene of ABO blood group system. Already I have explained ABO blood group system possesses the three genes alleles I capital A, I capital B, and I. The human leukocyte associated antigen genes, HLA genes, these are also the multiple allelic genes. And coat color of rabbit, skin color of the rabbit, you can see here capital C, capital C. When both are dominant, then the color of the rabbit will be black. When capital C, CH, CH, this is the chinchilla. On the other hand, this is the another phenotype, Himalayan, and small c, this is the albino. There are three alleles found for the ABO system, IA, IB, and IO. Inheritance of ABO blood group, you can see, suppose the father is having these alleles and there are three alleles. So we have expressed all the possible combinations of ABO system here. Presence of IA will make it a blood group. IAI, this is the again A blood group. IIA, this is the A blood group. Similarly, there are three possible combinations for B blood group, IBIB, IBI, and IBI. And if both the dominant alleles are present, IAIB, then the blood group will be AB, and when both the alleles are recessive, then the blood group will be O. Very important figure here, which is not given in your book. Now, the next topic is polygenic inheritance. What is this? Have a look. A polygene or a multiple gene inheritance is a member of a group of non-epistatic genes that interact additively to influence a phenotypic trait. Such traits are generally controlled by three or more genes. So when the number of genes are three or more, then this type of inheritance can be seen and are thus called polygenic trait, and its inheritance is called polygenic inheritance. Humans have no distinct tall or short, instead a whole range of possible heights. So have you seen the human beings? There is no any defined, or you can say definite height of the human being. It varies in the different ways because it is the polygenic inheritance. Besides the involvement of multiple genes, polygenic inheritance also takes into account the influence of environment. Similarly, another character is human skin color is another classic example of polygenic inheritance. In a polygenic trait, the phenotype reflects the contribution of each allele, and the effect of each allele is additive. So, presence of number of alleles will decide the type of trait. Have a look at the human skin color. So assume that three genes capital A, capital B, capital C control the skin color in humans, and dominant forms A, B, C responsible for dark skin color, and the recessive forms small a, small b, small c for light color of the skin. So genotype with dominant alleles A, B, B, C, C will have darkest skin color, and darkest skin color having the human is called Negro. Generally, these are the South African human beings, and genotype with recessive alleles is small a, small b, small b, small c will have lightest skin color, and this is known as white or albino. Other Combinations always with intermediate color. There are 27 genotypes of skin color found in the nature. Although this is beyond your syllabus. You can see the picture here. This is the Negro that has capital A, capital B, capital C, and this is the white with small b, small c, and this is the mulatto. Mulatto, in our language, we see this saula in color. The next is chromosomal theory of inheritance. What is the chromosomal theory of inheritance? It was proposed by Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri in the 1902. It states that genes are found at specific locations on the chromosomes and that the behavior of the chromosome during meiosis can explain Mendel's law of inheritance. They work out the chromosome movement during the meiosis. The behavior of chromosomes was parallel to behavior of the genes and used chromosome movement to explain Mendel's law. So basically, this theory is used to explain the Mendel's law. Sutton united the knowledge of chromosomal segregation with Mendelian principle and called it the chromosomal theory of inheritance. Chromosomes and genes are present in the pairs in diploid cells. So what are the important features of this theory? Both the chromosome also found in pair in the diploid cell. Similarly, genes are also found in the diploid cell. Homologous chromosomes separate during gamete formation in the anaphase. So homologous chromosome will separate. During that time, genes will also separate, its allele will also separate. Fertilization restore the chromosome number to diploid condition, and the chromosomal theory of inheritance claims that it is the chromosome that segregate and assort independently. So you can see the figure. This is the figure taken from your book. You can see this is G1 stage, this is G2 stage, where the yellow color with the red heads and orange color with green heads. Now this is the bivalent condition here, bivalent of single chromosome. So overall, meiosis first anaphase, this is the segregation without any change, and these are the germ cells after meiosis second. So four gametes are formed here. Experimental verification of chromosomal theory. It was completed by Thomas Hunt Morgan and his colleagues. Morgan worked with tiny fruit flies known as Drosophila melanogaster. Why Drosophila is generally used in genetics? This is the important question. Why do we use the Drosophila in the genetics? Because it is suitable for genetic studies, grown on simple synthetic medium in the laboratory. They complete their life cycle in 2 weeks, so results can be seen within 2 weeks. A single mating could produce a large number of progeny flies and clear differentiation of male and female flies. This is also the important feature, and have many types of hereditary variations that can be seen with low power microscope. This is the another important figure given here, where capital Y yellow seeds, small y green seeds, capital R round seeds, and small r wrinkled seeds. So what will you see? We have used the two type of chromosomes here. Pink chromosome is showing the color of the pea plant seed, and blue color is showing the shape of the seed in pea plant. So what will you see? This is the YY capital Y small y, capital R small r. These are the 1/4 capital Y capital R. Basically, these are the gametes of these parents. Chromosomal theory of inheritance. This is the another one more figure taken from your book, figure number 8. What will you see? This is the sorry, similar photograph which were the previous one, yellow with red heads and orange with green heads. So this is the formation of gametes without any change. While on the other hand, what will you see in these gametes? It's heads are changed. Yellow chromosome with green heads and orange chromosome with red heads. This is because of the crossing over during the meiosis. So, dear students, we have completed chromosomal theory of inheritance. Today, we have discussed about the inheritance of two genes, dihybrid cross, its phenotypes, its genotypes, law of independent assortment, and chromosomal theory of inheritance. Tomorrow, we will discuss about the linkage. Till then, goodbye. Have a nice day.